Um, so I was thinking about how I was going to respond about Buddhism and what I think Buddhism is, and then I thought, I was just saying the other day how isms are just so vague and general, and they're so easy to talk about because an ism can be almost anything, as long as you fit it into some vague context, which its context is everywhere, and it's hard not to be able to relate to ideas. If you can't relate to ideas, there's a good chance that one of them doesn't exist, or something's just not right there. But Buddhism is already it's been so filtered and distorted and um, misunderstood in some ways, and it's also evolved since it's come to the West, I think, and to America. It's no longer what it was when it was in China, or what it is when it's in Japan, what it is when it's in India. It's not that same thing anymore, and that's why it's interesting. I mean, when I talk about Buddhism or when I think about Buddhism, I'm thinking about Zen. I'm not thinking about any kind of Theravadan or mainstream religious type of Buddhism that's more focused on icons and figures, certain God figures um, that you have to sort of worship. And even Buddha, it's like they worship Buddha, and that's not the idea of Zen or any type of more esoteric Buddhism. It's kind of based on it's any mystical tradition of any religion is going to be different than the mainstream version of that religion. So whether it's Christianity or it's Sufism in Islam or Kabbalah in Judaism or um, whatever the mystical lineage is, it seems like they all say the same types of things. Um, Most notably, that you can't possibly speak about whatever the mystical is. I mean, what are you going to say about it? You can, you can't. It's nothing. But then it's a special kind of nothing. But anyways, Buddhism. The key of Buddhism is meditation, I guess. Right? That's how a Buddhist says, "I have experiential knowledge of reality because I meditate." That's the basic idea. And it's interesting because every master or teacher or expert at Buddhism that I've listened to or read or spoken to, they all have a different understanding of what meditation is. I mean, yeah, generally you'll get. I mean, sometimes you get contradictory statements like, the goal of meditation is to clear your mind of thought, and then other teachers will say, well, no, you're never going to clear your mind of thought. The goal of meditation is to just experience thought as thought and not say, oh, I'm having a thought. Just have the thought. Um, so you can have, there's like the stern, strict teacher, and then there's the laid back, you can't try not to try kind of teacher. So I personally have never had like a strict or routine um, meditation practice. I mean, I do it probably more than most people, but still, it's not every day. It's probably every other day, and then when it is every other day, it's not for 45 minutes or anything. It's for like 25 if I'm having a good day. So, but then I try to get meditation, and when I say meditation, I mean it in that very vague way, which is the only way that I understand it. Um, I can't give a definition for meditation. I can use it in a lot of ways to describe states of being, states of consciousness and behavior. Um, like you can take a walk and be meditating. You can be doing anything and meditating, I guess. But yeah, I don't know what that means. And that's the thing with Buddhism and meaning. I don't know that Buddhism offers a meaning to life, at least not one that you could point to or hand to somebody or talk about. Because, when you ask for a meaning, well, you're asking for some words, right? Unless maybe you're asking for an experience, but then it's you're back to that, what is that mystical experience, and what kind of knowledge? Is there such thing as knowledge of non-knowledge, or awareness of non-awareness? Knowledge of emptiness? What does that mean? So it's just these, you say it's word games, and yeah, it is, because you can't say it. So I don't know that Buddhism offers a meaning, or at least the ism that I know as Buddhism doesn't offer a specific meaning, other than, look at yourself. There you are. You're doing what you're doing. You're never going to have an explanation for it. The purpose of everything, you're not going to arrive at that. But then when you really accept that, which that's enlightenment, I guess. Which I don't, that's the goal of the Buddhist life, right? Enlightenment. So either you're a seeker of enlightenment, or you're a Buddha. And I don't know exactly when you know the difference. I don't know if there is, I don't know. But Buddhism is a playground. It's a very playful and living religion, especially in America. Because who in America is the authority of Zen Buddhism? Who is the authority of Buddhism? Where do you go to find what Buddhism is, or what the Buddha said? The Buddha didn't write anything. His disciples wrote it down for him, a couple of decades after he died. So, what is Buddhism? It hurts to ask that question. It hurts my brain to ask that question.